Hello, welcome to the Otaku Empire channel. My name is Mugen. I hope you have a wonderful day, and let's get right into the video. Alright, so, Winter 2021 anime season. Pretty solid in the sequel department. We got the end of Attack on Titan. Second half of ReZero Season 2. Pretty sure that was split in half for the same reason I haven't seen the light of day in months. Also, the disappointment that was The Promised Neverland Season 2. Look at any forums on myanimelist.net related to the show, and you'll see angry manga readers. But there has been a pleasant surprise in relation to The Promised Neverland. Season 2 is currently being handled by Cloverworks, the same studio that did Season 1. I liked what they did with Season 1, as it had minimal changes made, all of which were nice additions to the overall narrative. It has been the opposite with Season 2, where every change has been an omission of some of the best moments from the books. Now at first glance, Cloverworks looks like a new studio, with the farthest thing back on Mal being from 2018. But Cloverworks is actually the new rebranded name of A1 Pictures, who are known for too many things to even list. Some examples on screen now. But what they haven't done under this new name so far has been things such as Bunny Girl Senpai, Persona 5 the animation, and of course, The Promised Neverland Season 1. And they are currently releasing 4 series this season, one of which just happens to be the previously mentioned Pleasant Surprise, Wonder Egg Priority. My interest in the show started when episode 2 was airing. I knew nothing of the show, hadn't even heard the name at the time. Simply saw a screenshot floating around on Twitter of Oso Ai pinching her leg, calling herself a hopeless pudgy shut-in, or Hyuga Komori. This was incredibly cute, and most people posting it were simply captioning it with stuff like, relatable. The other day I decided to give the show a try as I ate lunch between sessions of panicking over finals. With my limited exposure to the show, I expected a cutesy show with some magic. I had no real preconceived idea as to what the plot was, so I hope you can understand my shock and confusion when I say I was absolutely stunned when I saw a little girl nearly get her fucking arm chopped off, and some hyper-realistic darkly shaded blood splatter all over the seemingly bright and cheerful background halfway through the first episode. Episode 1 starts off rather slow, yet eventful in its own right. The main character sitting crouched over a dead bug in the middle of the road, as a constant sort of high-pitched ding rings over and over again as non-diegetic background, only alerted by the soft yet sharp beep of a car behind her. The ringing music continues as she walks off and buries the bug. The audio design in the scene oddly stands out to me. I'm not exactly sure why, but everything just sounds very clean and clear. Soft footsteps, or the crisp crunch of a small branch being broken. I'm not very knowledgeable with music, but the music itself in this scene makes the viewer calm yet alert, giving the viewer a sense of immersion as if they're actually there, walking along an empty road, late at night as a kid. A lot of small details which all add up to me for a nice opening sequence that overall is minuscule and meaningless, or at least it seems to be as such for the time being. After she buries the bug, comes back to life and speaks to her, saying her name, delivering our first bit of dialogue, at the same time, shaking whatever notion of realism I was expecting. The calm yet alarming music continues on the whole time as the bug then speaks in short yet verbose sentences as he asks about dreams versus reality. Oto Ai then follows the bug for a bit as he tells her of a special capsule machine that will have something she wants. She would say she doesn't want anything, to which he sharply retorted, "But of course you want a friend." It then cuts to the next day where we find Ai with an egg, confused as to what it is or why she has it, contemplating what to do with it, or what state to even keep it in, hot, cold, etc. Later that night, she thought to go back and ask, but when she walked out the door of her house, she found herself in a school. Soon after, we encounter 2 faceless girls drawing on a locker, writing "die." It was also at this moment I looked back at the Mal page and noticed the show being listed in the genre of psychological and the rating of R17, which stood out, but I thought nothing of it at the time. While hiding in a bathroom, a figure with the bug's voice appeared in front of her and yelled at her to break the egg. The egg breaks and poof, another girl comes out of it. With a deadpan and rude voice, she asks why she had to break the egg in the bathroom. New music plays soon after from the school's loudspeaker, and the new girl runs out with a worried expression. She would grimace as she looked down the hall at another blank-faced girl. She tells Ai that they're going to run now, and Ai then confusedly looks behind herself at the horde of tiny red men jumping down the hall towards them. The music cuts, and the faceless girl yeets an axe at the new girl, giving us an impactful scene displaying the impact of the axe on the egg girl, in other words, giving us the bloody, surprising scene I mentioned earlier. This initiates a chase scene and sets the tone for the rest of the episode. I'll cut my explanation of the rest of the episode short, as I don't have much else to say. Overall, the sound design and music was amazing, and I love the animation. Character designs are quite cute as well. I love the eyes. Through the rest of episode 1, we are given a vague explanation of how the world works, The egg Oto-ai bought was the soul of someone who died. The dream world she was in is one she would return to later and bring more eggs to, as that is the point of this show. She's helping others pass on and slaying their trauma. I don't intend to reveal any more about the first 3 episodes, as I feel the rest should be experienced without prior knowledge. There is a point where friendship was touched on again in episode 1. It seems like it'll be a clear theme going forward, as well as acceptance of both oneself and others. I myself haven't seen it, but the structure of the story makes me think of Madoka Magica. The bug makes me think of that cat everyone demonizes within the anime community. Same goes for the concept of going and slaying something within a dream world. Another thing from episode 2 that solidifies this comparison is, in my mind, is the fact that the bug yelled at Oto again, this time saying, "How is running away supposed to solve anything?" This could just be taken as her solving things by slaying the other girl's past trauma, but could possibly be something more than that. I'm a bit suspicious of Aka and Ura Aka. Not exactly sure how much my comparison holds up, but I look forward to seeing how well the show holds up as a whole. It looks very promising. So far, episode 3 is my favorite, but that's probably just because it had the most going on out of the 3 so far. Every action sequence so far has had a fair bit of emotional weight to it, and the ones being protected always say, "Don't forget me," before they disappear, which is a nice extra bit of detail that is sort of impactful. But my reason for liking episode 3 the most isn't because of the action alone. It had its own themes that stood out to me that'll allow you to experience yourself. Just remember, your words are impactful. Choose them with care. I get the feeling I'll be returning to this show for another video when it's over. While scripting this, there was only 3 episodes out, and I had only seen those 3 episodes because, well, this was intended to be a first impressions video, and it still is one, because I have only seen 6 episodes at this point. This is my second time narrating it. The first time I narrated this video, there was only 4 episodes out, and at that time, I had watched all 4 episodes and added a little bit extra to the script to accommodate for that 4th episode that wasn't out when I first wrote the script. As of now, there are 8 episodes, and I've seen 6 of them. I am really enjoying the show. I feel like it's really something special, and that's something I felt with the first 3 episodes, and that feeling has only grown over time as the show's continued. As the show has continued, it's delved into heavier and heavier subjects, and I feel like that contrasts really well with the cutesy, vibrant art style, which is something that I really love. I like the cutesy, vibrant art style, the happy, cheerful, but also not so cheerful personality of Oto-ai, because like, I see myself a great deal in that character because she has her really happy, joyful moments where she's always, not always, but like really cheerful around the other characters and trying to make them happy. And I kind of see myself in that because I want others to be happy, but also we both have baggage and we both aren't always, woo. Anyway, really love the characters, love how their stories have been told, and we're hearing about all these heavy subjects and how that's contrasting with more happy exterior of the show. Right now, I have the show rated on Mal as an 8. That's what I gave it when I first watched the first 3 episodes, and I've left it at that since, but I just, with how things are going, I feel like I'm going to be bumping that up to a 10. Earlier I mentioned the fact that I see myself in Oto-ai, and there's a specific scene that stood out to me that I feel highlights why I feel that way, and I want to go over it briefly. That being a conversation between Ai and Neiru in episode 4. Neiru is a very soft-spoken character so far, who at the time seemed a little judgy. In the first interaction with Ai, she pushed her away, but at the point of this conversation, there's been at least a small connection formed between the two. Neiru suddenly says to Ai, "You're trusting, Ai. You forgive easily." Ai would then respond with, "I guess so. I'm hopeless that way." To which Neiru would retort with, "You're lovely that way. You're hopeless and lovely that way. We need someone like that sometimes, or we'll never be saved." Which is a statement I agree with to such a great degree I can't even state. And personally, the behavior Ai presents is the sort of thing that I try and strive for in my day-to-day life. I really hate talking about this because it feels like I'm boosting my own ego, but many of my real-life friends seem an extremely genuine person and often too kind for my own good. I tend to give trust right away rather than make people earn it, and I give a lot of second chances. I Try to offer kindness to everyone I meet, no matter my connection to them or how they act towards me. But of course, there are exceptions to that. I don't always stay true to this. No one is perfect. No one is perfect after all. I'm currently a struggling senior in high school and I don't have much time left before I'm out. I intend to study psychology in college to be a therapist, as I see my main purpose is to help others. My goal in life is fueled by the same part of me that makes me strive to be the kindest me I can be. The sort of strength that I share. Anyway, I've gotten pretty off track here, just been talking about my personal aspirations at this point, so I'm going to wrap things up. That's my initial impressions of Wonder Egg Priority. I hope what I had to say got you interested in the show, if you even bothered to stick around this long. If you enjoyed what I had to say, consider subscribing to the Otaku Empire channel. My personal channel will also be linked down below in the description. I'm sure at some point, something along the lines, one of these sentences got confusing, especially the one at the end there with me saying I, and then I being the character, and then I being referring to myself. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. Hope you have a nice day. See ya.